Good morning. It is June 12th today, and we're in First Kings 9 and 10 today as well. And this is the response that God gives to Solomon's prayer of dedication, which I think is helpful for us to understand the rest of Old Testament history from that point forward. The Lord says, I have heard the prayer and plea you have made before me. I have consecrated this temple which you have built, putting my name there forever. My eyes and my heart will always be there. As for you, if you walk before me faithfully with integrity of heart and uprightness, as David your father did, and do all the commandments and observe my decrees and laws, I will establish your royal throne over Israel forever, as I promised David your father when I said, you shall never fail to have a successor on the throne of Israel. But if you and your descendants turn away from me and do not observe the commandments and decrees I have given you, and go off to serve other gods and worship them, then I will cut off Israel from the land I have given them, and will reject this temple I have consecrated for my name Israel. My name Israel will then become a byword and an object of ridicule among all peoples. This temple will become a heap of rubble. All who pass by will be appalled and will scoff and say, why has the Lord done such a thing to this land and to this temple? People will answer, because they have forsaken the Lord their God, who brought their ancestors out of Egypt, and have embraced other gods, worshiping and serving them. That is why the Lord brought all this disaster on them. And so, really, the teaching here is that God's going to get the credit either way. If his people are successful, then his name is going to dwell there, and all the nations are going to know of his power through his people Israel, whom he's blessing. But if and when actually it happens that they forsake him, then he's going to allow that place to be destroyed, them to be taken into captivity, and then people are going to ask, why did this happen? And once again, it's going to be because God caused it to happen to his people who had forsaken him. So either way, God gets the glory and the credit for what has happened there. And then in chapter 10, we see the Queen of Sheba come and actually make this very real. She comes and she observes all that is going on in Solomon's kingdom, and she comes to a conclusion about why this has happened. And she says, where she says in, oh, I just lost the spot here. Uh, Sorry. Oh, there it is. Verse 9. Praise be to the Lord your God, who hath delighted in you and placed you on the throne of Israel. Because of the Lord's eternal love for Israel, he has made you king to maintain justice and righteousness. And so she recognizes the Lord's favor on Solomon and on the people of Israel, and she gives credit to him for that. And I think it's an amazing thing. In fact, um, those in Ethiopia trace their history back to the Queen of Sheba, and even claim that Solomon's son by the Queen of Sheba reigned there in down in Ethiopia, and was the forerunner for those who became Ethiopian Christians later on. So they claim a heritage all the way back to this point. But regardless of whether that is true or not, it is a worldwide testimony to the fact that God is in control, and that is able to be seen through the people of Israel, even through their destruction later on as well. And so we're still talking about Israel to this day. And that's the heritage that God had promised to Abraham, or to Solomon, and to Abraham as well. So that's it for today.